Welcome back to Just Two Beardos, and we got a show today.
Oh, we do. But not on the positive note. You'll see.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we got some good news. We got some drama. It should be a really good show. Again, we got our intern, Nick Harper.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
What's good?
Nice. So, Garrison, as much as he's upset with his team, is not alone at the bottom with Nick.
Yeah.
So, again, you only have to be 6th place or higher to be in the playoffs. So, it's not out of reach yet.
Not yet, but it's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
It could be very frustrating, especially after I picked both of you guys to win last week. So now my overall record sucks.
You're telling me I went 0 for 4.
All right, so with that being said, we do have Nick back, helping us out back in the sound studio. We should have all 4 cameras going on.
Oh, yeah.
So should be all battery full, should all be space clear, and we'll just roll with it right now. So
Yeah, Keith, everything's good to go.
as far as we know. So,
We'll find out.
but it was like I said last week, it was a miracle we got that video out. I was surprised how I was able to do it all without Keaton here. So let's jump in. We got our first thing. We're just going to talk about some recent activity. Mainly it's just name changes. Garrison, who actually ran with a new quarterback this week with Mustache Minshew, but what's your team name now?
My team name now is Mount Minshevius, which So I picked up Gardner as a backup to Dak. Started him this week. I loved his matchup. Didn't work out as great as I wanted it to, obviously. But Gardner's my new ride or die this year. He's my ride or die. I'm not going to drop him for anything.
Just keep him on the bench so you can keep that team name.
Yep.
That's all he's on there for.
That's why he's on my team.
I'm not
I
going to
love this
lie,
guy.
there are people that I have picked up in the past just to have on my roster to have the team name pretty cool.
Yeah, I love this guy. He's awesome. He's legit. He just had one bad game. The other 2 games he did really solid. So it's like, shoot.
We'll see what happens next.
I know. I might have to trade him for a Kamara or something. You know, that's how good he is.
You hear that? You hear that, Marcus? Possible trade. Second one, speaking of Marcus, name change is Team Viva La Trump actually changed the Team King Kamara.
Yep.
Which, I mean, he is king. I mean, that game he had, I watched. Holy cow.
Kamara had like 13 receptions. It's
Did you see the one reception that went for like 80 yards or 75 yards?
Yeah, all those missed tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolutely a joke.
It was a
But
joke.
yeah. I think Kamara's status right now is unbelievable. But I think when Mike Thomas comes back, Kamara's going to drop down
I really
again.
hope so.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Mike Thomas is the focal point of that offense. So.
And then one more thing about Marcus is this was an interesting pickup. We usually don't go through all the pickups, but this one was interesting. He dropped Jimmy Garoppolo and picked up Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Gary?
That was interesting. Herbert had one good game, or kind of a decent game, really. I would have waited on Garoppolo to come back. I wouldn't have took a shot on Herbert, especially in an 8-man league. There's just no point. Maybe if you're in a deeper league, but there's really no point to have Herbert on your team.
Yeah, so Garoppolo, he'll be back, and Herbert is actually probably going to lose his starting job again, according to the Chargers coach, that Tyrod Taylor is still going to be the starter.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Marcus, you can roll with it. Who knows? Maybe someone on the waiver wire picks up Garoppolo from you, and you miss out on Garoppolo.
Yeah,
But
that would suck.
We'll
Because
see.
he's got Tannehill right now, and he didn't even do that good last week. So.
Yeah, so he definitely needs to, figure out that QB situation, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Perfect. So those are the highlights from our waiver wire team name changes. No trades. There was a lot of rumors last week, and rumors still going on.
Yep, no one wants to trade.
We'll get into that a little bit later, but let's jump into a review of week number 3.
Yep.
And we'll start off with my game as well against Dez. And I told Dez to eat some humble pie last week, and then he just baked me a pie and gave it right back to me. So I lost, and I think I could solely blame it on Lamar Jackson. He's been a little disappointing the last couple weeks.
Did that
and it's
shock
making me a
you
little
or
nervous.
what? Oh my gosh. I was
I
not
get it.
expecting
He's
that.
been playing against the Texans defense and the Chiefs, but still, Like, I think he scored under 20 both of those games.
I didn't expect it. This kind of blew me away.
Yeah, so that really what made me, disappointed last week was the fact that Lamar Jackson didn't help me at all to be able to make it even closer against Dez than what it was. So we'll see how this progresses. He's going to start playing against easier teams. Those are just two pretty solid defensive teams that he went up against. So I'm not like going to bench him yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But
yeah.
I mean, Breeze, he came back last week. And once
Breeze
Michael
had a good
comes
game.
back,
But to be honest, are you ever sitting Lamar for Breeze? Really? Like,
I
let's
mean,
be
if
honest.
I get like 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row of under 20 points,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to.
Maybe at that point, but as of right now, I'm still rolling Lamar out there.
Yeah.
Another shocker for you was Darren Waller. Only 2 points coming off that huge Monday night, and then he only had the 2 points.
Yeah, that really hurt. I was
Yeah.
watching that game. I think they were playing Patriots.
Yep.
And they just were not feeding him the ball. And that made me really nervous as well. Stephon Diggs didn't get any receptions until I think right before or right after the second half.
I was watching that game. He caught a touchdown pass that got called back. Caught another touchdown pass, got called back. I was like, Ryan's probably just so upset right now.
Well, for that part of it, I was actually in church, so I missed the first half of the morning games. But then his first reception ended up being a touchdown as well. So he could have had a bigger day. But still, yeah, like I did hear about those touchdowns getting called back. Calvin Ridley did pretty good, just an average day, which isn't that bad. I was hoping Aaron Jones would get a touchdown at the end of that game, and the Packers could not punch it in. I was getting so freaking frustrated. It was like second or third and 1. I'm like, sweet, here's an easy 6 points.
You don't know what frustration is until you see my team.
But Dez, great week. Aaron had a great week, and that was really killing me watching that Saints and Packers game because he had Aaron Rodgers and I had Aaron Jones, and so I just wanted him to run the ball the whole time. That didn't happen. Zeke did pretty well. Allen Robinson, balling out. Great receiver to have on your team.
Yeah, well, he did so well because Nick Foles came in, replaced Trubisky.
Yep.
And Foles is the new starter now in Chicago.
Yep, I was following that game closely because of that, Allen Robinson and also Calvin Ridley. And, yeah, Allen Robinson really started racking up points in that second half once, like you said, Nick Foles came in.
Yeah.
And then his defense, Buccaneers defense, who I drafted before and I released. And then to pick up Brandon Ayuk because I wanted a little bit more receiver depth, paid off huge, 19 points this week. So that could have definitely, if he would have had like maybe a 5-point, 6-point week for his defense,
could have been a swing right there.
And his kicker did well too.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean not a great, but it was a pretty good week. I mean 138 is no slouch of a score.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Let's get on to the next game. Garrett, what do we got?
So is it me? Don't tell me.
You go on. You
okay.
tell us where we want to go here.
I'll just go. I'll go to Nick and Matt here. So Matt has another crazy week where he scores over 150. Nick, I'm looking at Nick's team. You're like, how is he 0-3? I still don't understand it because he has really good pieces. Like if Kyler doesn't throw a couple picks, like this could have been Nick's first win. Like some of these you're kind of looking at and you're just like, like I hate this. It's really ticking me off. Just wait until we get to my team, but yeah, Josh Allen's absolutely killing it right now.
That is such a shock. It's crazy how good he is. And he's not a rushing quarterback. I mean, he can get out of the pocket, but this is all just throwing.
Yeah, I don't get it. Derrick Henry has a great game. Nick Chubb has a good game.
Chubb, which we're still disappointed you haven't changed your name to some sort of Chubb into the name. So Nick Matt, Gare. Matt, change your name so we can have something fun instead of looking at OG champion. You're holding on to that too long, dude. You got to look forward to the future and try and be a champion this year.
Yeah, come on, Matt. Let's go. Let's change it up. I'll check at 3 a.m. when I check my waivers, and I hope
Luke will be up with you because he told me now that he has a new kid, he'll be up as late as you are now. So you two are going to be battling the waiver wire.
I'm not up till 3 a.m. I'm not even up till 3. I woke up, looked, and I was like, okay, and then went right back to sleep. I wasn't even planning on waking up. That's a funny thing.
Maybe he's just like scrolling through. He's like,
Luke called me out, and
Is
I was
that
like,
Calvin Ridley?
I wasn't even like awake. I just woke up, and I like had some water, and I was like, oh, might as well check it. Oh yeah, I didn't get anyone I wanted. Okay.
I'm hoping.
It's just.
I'm hoping he like scrolls through one time and just picks up some random person that he was like mentally he thought it was someone else, and
Yeah.
just like we all look about it in the morning.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know Kyler Murray was on the waivers. Okay. Oh, that was Brett Hundley. Oh, okay. Not like gosh, like so frustrating.
But yeah, Matt, dude, your team is looking stacked. Cooper Kupp, great game as well. I mean, we were probably wrong about your team, Matt. So I mean, you're 2-1, and you've had two really solid weeks back to back. Nich, though, Tyler Lockett, frick, 37 points.
Yeah.
If you could just get the rest of your team to kind of pick it up a little bit, like Drake or Odell Beckham number 2.
What's going on with Drake this year?
I told you guys, too many weapons. Too many weapons.
It's interesting.
You might want to look at another running back.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what your bench is looking like. I don't know what your running backs.
What is it?
Carryon Johnson,
Yep.
Makers.
Matt Breida.
Yep.
Never mind. You're rolling. You're rolling with who's doing pretty
Hey,
well.
Nick, if
Exactly.
you ever want to trade,
I know, I was about to say.
I'm
Ooh.
open. I'm open.
I was about to say I'm
What
gonna have
running
to
back
do
are you
trade.
willing to give them?
My computer's not pulling up. I don't know what's going on. It's like the computer's not working all of a sudden.
Well, what you got? You got Joe Mixon. You got Kareem Hunt. You got.
I've got so many running backs.
Chris Carson, who actually got a little injured.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor.
And Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Sorry.
Oh, was he on your bench last week?
Yep. Thought Baltimore defense would shut him down, but nope.
That's crazy.
Yep. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter who. Even if I would have put in all the guys that scored more, I
Yeah.
still would have lost.
Yep.
It wouldn't have mattered.
All right. So, Nich, you're on 3, but keep trucking, man. And Matt, you got a squad. That's for sure. All right. Should we save your team for last?
Yeah.
Or do
Oh,
you-
we're saving it for last.
All right. We'll go to the grease balls and D's Luts. So Keaton and Luke.
Yep.
And I was predicting this one correct. So if you're keeping score at home, Garrison went 0 for 4, and I went 1
One
for
for
4.
four. Yep.
1 for 4.
Yep.
So we're doing great. So what does that make me? 6 for 12, and that makes you 5 for 12.
Yeah. So Ryan's beating me by 1.
It's
So-
bad.
Keaton's. Let's say this real quick. Keaton has Mahomes and Wilson, right? He could have played either one of them, and they would have still scored over 40.
48 for Mahomes, who was
Yep.
on his bench, and then Russell Wilson,
Yep.
46.8.
Yep.
Everyone else is like me with Lamar, who's giving me like 16 points when he's supposed to be putting up numbers like this.
Yep. And then he has James Robinson, who went off for 30. Keenan Allen, who went off for 30. It's just out of control.
DeAndre, 23. I mean, and then his defense gave him 0. He didn't even need a defense.
Yeah. He could have just left that empty and still would have won.
When your offense is like that, you don't need a defense.
Yeah, jeez. Holy crap.
And then Luke took a little, didn't even take a setback. I mean, 152 is a solid score.
Exactly. I wish I could score over 100. That
I mean, look at the Colts defense.
27 points.
27 points.
Yep.
No, I don't even know when the last time a defense scored that much. Maybe Patriots last year?
Yep. They said I'm pretty sure they had like 35 at one point last year.
Yeah, and then like you said, Eckler plus 30. Hollywood Brown didn't really do too much for him.
DK was probably his next best. 19.
DK's solid.
Yeah.
It kind of just sucks for the Seahawks because they actually got 2 receivers now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Tyler Lockett seems to be a
get me
huge shock.
started on
Ooh,
that.
speaking of which, how upset was Luke probably watching DK? He probably didn't watch it live, but seeing, or maybe,
Oh, when
maybe
he
you
got
haven't even
his
heard
one-
about it yet. Luke, this might be breaking news to you. DK caught this like 80-yard pass, and he just like grabs it in one hand and he starts strutting the end zone,
Yep.
and this Cowboy defender punched out from behind into the
That-
back of the end zone.
So that was one of the dumbest plays.
Did he get credit for the yardage up until that point?
I don't think he did.
Oh,
Do you? I don't
don't
think
know.
you do.
Oh, I don't know.
That's-
Don't ask me.
I don't know, actually.
But you at least missed out on 6 points of
Yeah.
a touchdown. And you probably got -2 for a fumble.
Yeah.
Ah,
So that's an 8-point swing right there.
Oh, my gosh. That's horrible.
So yeah, that was crazy. So if you want to look up that, Luke, you want to be a little
Go
depressed.
look at that play up on
Yeah.
YouTube. That'll be
I don't
fun.
think that one play kept you from winning, but it's just a little frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, again, Keaton 2-1 now, and what Garrison said before we got on the air, everyone's 2-1 except for the bottom two, 0-3.
Except for me and Nick, we're
Yeah.
both 0-3.
But it's still pretty close. Like I said, you just got to be top 6.
Yep.
Top 6.
That's
and
all that
you can be able
matters.
to do it. So let's move on. Let's get to the game of the week for Gare.
All right. I absolutely get destroyed in this game. Kamara, 44.7 points, just absolutely dominates me. I can't even score over 100. I lose Young Hoku, my kicker. Let me repeat that. My kicker. Chris Carson
Wait,
gets
how
injured.
did he get injured? Do you know how?
I don't even know how he got injured. I just saw that he got hurt, and I was like, is this a sick joke? I was like, is that the joke?
is that the joke?
And then Godwin goes down with an injury. I'm like, I can't with these injuries. Are killing me this year. You just know it's a bad season when your kicker gets hurt. If your kicker gets hurt, you might as well just give up on the season at that point. Kelly has a great matchup against Carolina defense, who's one of the worst in the league at rush defense. Yeah, he scores 5 points. Eckler gets 30. Like, I'm so done with all that crap because it's so stupid because he has such a good matchup. I sit Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which was stupid. Why'd I do that? I don't even know why I did that, but I sat him, so that was stupid. And then Dak, what the heck? Like, all these guys going off on my bench, I'm sick and tired of them. I'm trying to trade some of these guys who are actually pretty good, by the way. And everyone's like, no, I really like my team a lot. And I'm like, okay, really? Like, let's make some trades, man. Help me out here. I'm dying. I'm like, yeah, you're 2-1. I'm 0-3. Like, help me out here. I'm willing to give you some pieces here. Like, I even offered Dak to Marcus, and he didn't want him. I'm shocked.
Wait, what'd you
shocked.
say? What'd you say in the text that he said to you?
He said
What
he
was
doesn't. He said he doesn't like having quarterbacks that have really good wide receivers and running backs on their team.
I don't get that
Okay.
point. I don't get
Does that make any sense?
Isn't that the point?
Exactly.
I told Nick at the beginning of the year,
I'm like-
or talked about Nick, seems like, dude, you got Kyler Murray and you got all these weapons. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what you want. And then Marcus texts you that he doesn't want a quarterback with good
I'm like,
players.
who do you want? Jeff Driscoll from the Broncos? He's got all of his weapons out. Do you want that guy? Because he's tearing it up, right? It's like, oh my, I can't. So I'm done. I'm like, Marcus, you do your thing. Your quarterback sucks. You do your thing. If you don't want that, cool. I'll keep him. Maybe someone else might want him, but whatever. And I was shocked. I don't get it. But yeah, you killed me. You kicked my ass this week. Cool. I'm 0-3. Yeah, whatever.
I was telling Garrett, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is if you have freaking Alvin Kamara putting up 30,
Exactly.
40 points a week.
Exactly. It doesn't even matter.
And you got, oh, by the way, I got Tyreek Hill going off for 20. I got Robert Woods going off for 20.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just-
Marcus has a pretty solid, I mean, he's got really good superstars, but there's still some players that I kind of about. Still about DJ. Still about Font, whatever you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
But other than that, he does have a pretty solid squad.
Yeah.
And so the bottom two people that we thought would suck are actually 2-1 now.
Yeah.
So
And then the people that we thought that would do good are actually.
so yeah, we're the experts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh. All right, let's move on before I get
All
more
right.
mad. It's just
Perfect. Let's move on. So we did a review of week 3. Let's go over some awards. We got 3 awards. 2 of them the same as the first couple weeks. 1 new one. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. So we're going to start off with the obvious. We just talked about it. The Killing Him Award. Marcus, you won that. You almost doubled Garrison's points.
Yep.
I
Killed me.
mean, it looks like you beat him by over 60 points.
Yep.
So well done.
Didn't
Alvin
think I would be
Kamara.
on the receiving end this year, but it happened. All you have to do is cry in the shower, move on, and then you're solid, which I've already done. So
5 times today.
Yes. Yeah. Cried in front of a customer today. No. No, just gotta. I don't know. It's a crappy week, but you just gotta move on. But it's all good. All right. What's the next award?
Next
for?
award, Spinal Award.
Ooh.
So this one again goes out to the guy who carried his team to a victory. Again, Marcus, you got this award.
Yep.
Alvin Kamara, we talked about him already 1,000 times, but he accounted for 29.69% of his points.
Yep. Absolutely had a monster game. It was just unbelievable. I kind of stopped watching because it just hurt so much. But Kamara's a beast.
I was just watching that game. I'm like, oh, thank goodness I'm not playing against Kamara.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, that one was bad. So congrats, Marcus. You got 2 of the awards this week, but you did not get the third. Third one actually is our Uncle Rico Award. If you've watched Napoleon Dynamite, famous saying he has, if Coach would have put me in, we would have won state. And so this award goes to the losing team, and it's to a team that has a player on the bench that could have been replaced for another player and would have won the game. And Nick is smirking over there.
Knew it.
Goes to Nich.
And it goes to Nick this week.
I knew it. I knew it.
You got the inaugural award for the Uncle Rico Award.
It was Gallup, huh?
It was Gallup.
Yeah.
If you would have played him over T.Y. Hilton, you would have won this week.
Yeah.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
The thing that's crazy, though, is Lamb goes out with an injury in the fourth quarter, and Gallup wasn't even doing that great up until then.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then he catches that long touchdown pass, which boosts him up all the way up to that 25 points. So I'm like, I'm kind of thinking if Lamb doesn't go out with that, maybe Gallup doesn't score that much. You never know. So that's kind of crazy how all that happens. I just hate it when people blow up on my bench.
Yeah.
It's literally the worst.
This is the first time this year where this award would be applicable.
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately, it had to be my team.
yeah, unfortunately. But hey, last week you didn't get the Killing Him Award. Remember, I said it's not you.
Yes.
It was Dez, I think it was.
Yeah, it does. Didn't he? Oh, yeah, he got killed by Matt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope I never get that award.
Yeah. I've already got it once.
Well, no, the Killing Him Award goes to the guy who killed someone, so you kind of want it, but you just don't want to be on the other end.
Yeah, I don't want to be on the
Exactly.
receiving end.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
Exactly. So, we'll talk a little bit about the waiver wire. It's kind of pretty much the same as last week. I don't really see many names on here that I would be jumping all over.
So there's like a couple that are interesting, but other than that, like if you're looking for a running back, Darrell Henderson for the Rams, he's pretty solid. He's going to be the starter now. He's had a pretty good 2 games. Evan Ingram's still out there. He's probably a really top tight end that's out there. Robbie Anderson, nobody's touched him. He's a top 10 wide receiver right now.
Yeah.
Nobody has touched him. I don't even know if anyone's going to pick him up tonight. We'll see.
Might be me.
Yeah. Couple injuries. Deebo Samuel's still out. Dallas Goedert goes on IR. Like, geez, like some of these. Tariq Cohen tore his ACL. He's out on IR. There's just a couple things here, but other than that, not the waiver wire looking a little slim.
Yeah. Not too much to grab from, but I mean, if you want to make some improvements, which it sounds like Garrison might want to. By the way, Garrett, can you show the fans your notes for today's podcast?
Oh yeah. So here's my notes. It says 5-minute rant. I don't think I got up to 5 minutes.
Do you want some time for that? Still?
I might take some. So it says go off on kicker because who the frick's kicker gets hurt? I mean, come on, Kelly. I didn't appreciate yours. Okay. And then these are all my injuries right here. So, and I forgot to add DJ Chark. I didn't start DJ Chark, but he was injured on my bench. So that was cool. So 4 injuries this week. But, geez, that's the thing that sucks about fantasy football is injuries. You can't predict them. You just never know when they're going to come. And they have plagued my team the last 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, we've talked about it that, I mean, half of us seem to have our first-round picks gone. I don't have Michael Thomas. Luke doesn't have Christian McCaffrey.
Keaton doesn't have
Saquon.
Saquon.
Was there another one, or is that it for the first-rounders?
I think that might be it for the first-rounders.
Yeah, so it's a I mean, that's how fantasy football works, and that's why when we predict stuff,
crazy.
our fans like to mention to us how bad we are at predictions. It fuels the
You
fire.
try to predict this stuff.
Yeah, when we have guests, we'll have them predict
Yeah.
the same games we are predicting and see how they do for that week.
It's not easy, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there we go. Let's get into predictions, by the way.
All right,
Speaking
here
of
we
which.
go.
So let's begin with a couple besties going at it. Team King Chimera versus It's Pen Island. So
I already know who I'm taking in this one. It's already a done deal. I already looked at it and I said this guy's winning this week.
okay.
Yep. It's Nick. Nick's winning this week.
Yes.
I got a feeling Kyler's playing Carolina. Their defense sucks. He just had Kenyon Drake. I think it's a bounce back game. He just has all these great matchups. I love it. On the other hand, I'm still going with you. Just letting you know. On the other hand, Marcus just doesn't have the matchups I love. Tyreek Hill's playing New England. New England still has a good defense. Ryan Tannehill's playing Pittsburgh. That's a good defense over there. I do not like that matchup at all. I think Nick gets his first win here.
I will not go with that. I think I'm going to go with Marcus, as much as it kills me, because I like to see him squirm and get upset and all that kind of stuff. So, but I'm looking at matchups here. It's like Kamara's against Detroit, and then you see something like Fant against the Jets, Robert Woods versus the Giants.
Yeah.
I mean,
But Patriots D against
you could possibly
Kansas
get some
City?
negative points out of that, possibly. But again,
that's just
Kamara against Detroit? Come on.
If I'm Detroit, I'm just putting two guys on Kamara at all times. Just
Double coverage.
double coverage the whole time.
Hey, they beat the Cardinals, so they did
That
something
was
right last
horrible,
week.
man. Oh my gosh.
Don't get started with that, because that's just another depressing moment for Garrison.
I mean, it's one thing to lose in fantasy, but your team to lose like that, it's another thing. It just hurts.
Hate it.
It's just like we should have won that game. That
We
should
should've-
not
yeah.
have. You know that. Okay.
And every player tweeted out or in the press conference said the same thing. Should have won that game. We just didn't play well.
So who's next, Ryan?
Let's go with you.
Okay.
Let's get this up front and center.
All right, here we go.
It's Mount Minshevius versus the OG champion, which should put Chubb somewhere in the name.
Yep.
Put the OG Chubb champion.
Yeah, I like it. All right, so this is an easy pick for me. I'm getting my ass handed to me to Matt. I think I'm going to go 0-4 unless I make some trades. Josh Allen's just absolutely tearing it up. Derrick Henry's playing Pittsburgh. That might. Dallas is going to be a shootout with Cleveland. He's just got all around good matchups. I'm going to lose. I'm picking Matt this week. If I do win, it will be an absolute miracle because I'm like, some of these guys that I have are injured and it's just not working out great. Kittle's coming back for him. He could be out. We don't know, but if he's in, that's another
You're
thing I got to
praying
deal
for
with.
that.
But yeah, I'm picking Matt.
Yep. I'm gonna go with Matt as well. I mean, I picked against him too many times, and he's proven me wrong. So, Matt, I'm gonna go with you. I mean, Henry is getting. It seems like he's getting back to form of being the lead rusher again of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Chubb's been getting obviously the heavy majority of those carries and yards. Brady seems to be working well with Evans, and I mean, freaking Josh Allen. You think the next week he'll
Slow
he'll only
down
put
or
up
something,
15,
yeah.
20 points, but
No,
no,
he
he's been
keeps
putting up
putting up all
30,
the-
40.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know how he does that.
So, I mean, 3 is a trend. So I'm going to go with the trend.
Yeah.
So, Matt, I am going to pick you there as well. Is there any other stuff going on with trades? Anything else that you want to say to people right now?
Yeah. Let's make a deal. Okay? Like, geez. Like, I text people and they're like, no, dude, not even, like, they're not even open for any trades at all. Like, let me tell you something. Everyone on my team is available. All right? I just want everyone to know that. For, like, I'm not saying I'm going to trade my best player for a bench piece, but, like, everyone's available at all times. Even if I was 3-0, everyone would still be available.
That's true. That is
Like-
Garrison. Garrison's not afraid to trade anyone.
Yeah. Like, come on. It's just, All right, who's the next person? I'm gonna lose. Are we going to Keaton's?
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
Let's go.
all right,
Let's go to
to Keaton's. All right, we're going to Keaton. I'm taking. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm taking Dez in this game.
What was the oh my gosh about? What did you look at? You're just like,
I've
oh my
never
gosh.
seen the win probability so high. It's almost at 60%. I've never seen that. That's just. Yeah, I'm taking them. I'm taking Dez. I think he's got some good matchups here. Devontae Adams and Julio playing against each other on Monday Night Football. I think they might sit Adams depending on how he's going to do. I mean, Dez still has. I mean, he had Julio and Adams out last week and still won. So I mean, Ryan's shaking his head.
Still salty.
Yeah, I mean, Allen Robinson, I feel like it's a huge upgrade with Nick Foles as his quarterback, and it looked like he was targeting him more than anyone. So I'm pretty sure he targeted him more than anyone. So I'm taking Dez in this one.
Yeah, as I look at this roster, I mean, Keenan had some guys go off that normally don't go off as much as they usually do, like Keenan Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a good player, but he went off a lot last week. James Robinson went off. I don't know if I could see James Robinson doing that on a weekly basis.
And the
He's
way
not playing
the
Dolphins
Colts
every week.
defense is playing right now.
Yeah,
I don't know
true.
if David Montgomery takes off. But the thing with Russell Wilson is they're playing Miami. I think that's a blowout game.
Yeah.
I think they just run the ball. I mean, they get up, they run the ball. I don't think Russell Wilson throws for 5 touchdowns again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's just.
Yeah, with those things, with kind of how everything blew up last week for him, I don't see those same players.
Yeah,
Not all of them doing.
James
as well.
Robinson's solid. I just don't see him putting up 30 again.
Yeah, and like I said, he's not playing the Dolphins every week.
Yeah.
So, and then with Dez getting Julio and Devontae possibly back, I mean, he won without those guys last week, obviously.
Yeah.
He's got Allen Robinson in his flex.
Yeah,
as you see the season progress, like you see that his roster is actually looking pretty stacked.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Dez this week to beat the Grease Balls, which leads us to our fourth and final game, and it's me versus my brother-in-law, Luke. So we'll see what I can do against Luke. It's another matchup of 2-1.
Yep.
So I'll start it off here.
All right, here we go.
Man, some players just did not play as well as I thought they would. I already talked about Lamar Jackson just not doing as great as they thought. I would think Stephon would get. I mean, he didn't have a terrible game, but he's had some pretty great games under Josh Allen. So I might roll with him again this week, especially once Michael Thomas gets back. That's probably when I'll make the change. I'm not comfortable yet with Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
He did have a decent game last week, but I want to see that consistent. So I'll probably roll Stephon Diggs again this week. Darren Waller, I hope he can be able to pick it up where he left off.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Luke's team is pretty good.
Yeah.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton plays KC though. They just shut down Lamar.
Yeah.
And Cam's more of a running quarterback.
Yeah, I did luck out with that. So, and then Kelsey's playing against New England.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if they're able to shut down Waller, I hope they can shut down Kelsey.
Yeah, but it's so hard with that KC offense. They're just unbelievable.
Yeah, it is tough.
So,
and then hopefully, like you said, DK Metcalf maybe doesn't get as many reception yards because they're running the ball against a poor team. So I think I'll rebound this week and get a win.
mm-hmm.
Just the fact that my players didn't do as well as I thought they would last week, and I just don't like Luke's matchups with some of his star players. Who are the Chargers playing?
Chargers are playing Tampa Bay, who actually have a solid
They have
defense.
a really great run defense.
They have a solid defense.
It's Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
He was so good here against the rush.
Mm-hmm.
It was unbelievable. So I just liked my matchups more, so I'm going to go with myself. Garrett?
Yeah, I'm taking Ryan as well in this one. I think Waller bounces back. I think Lamar comes pissed off, and I think he runs all over the Washington football team. That's just me.
Their first loss ever was against the Cardinals. Just a fun fact. Happened 2 weeks ago.
A little fun fact for you.
Excellent. So those are our predictions this week. Hopefully we could do a little bit better. or not. Maybe in Garrett's case, he doesn't want to do as well because he picked against himself.
Yeah. I hope that if I pick against myself, I'll win.
I like that strategy.
Yeah. So we'll see how it pays off.
And then go ahead.
Oh no, it's your turn.
Actually, it's not my turn. I wanted to turn over to Nick. Nick, I want. Do you have anything to say to Marcus?
No. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm not in the game. I'm basing my entire team off of other people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't talk trash. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Especially when you're 0-3. It's hard
Yeah,
to talk trash.
especially that.
Yeah, tell me about
It's like I'm at the bottom right now, looking up at everybody. So it's like, what am I going to say?
Yeah, geez.
But since we're going to have you on for next week because Keaton's not going to be here, if you do win, I want you to prepare something good.
I'll have something great.
Hey, I picked you, so
That's true. I did not, but
Garrison's got my back. It's cool.
I'm telling you, Nick's gonna win this one. We can play that. We can do a little instant replay or whatever on our next podcast when Nick wins.
True.
Oh,
if I'm good enough to do that.
If I'm good.
You'll be great enough to do it, Ryan. You got it. I know Marcus is going to be watching super close.
Oh, yeah.
This is every week.
Dude, he texts me saying, "Hey, how do you get to watch the games?" I'm like, "Oh, it's just local TV. You just have to sign in on the app."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, how do you get to see all the games?" I'm like, "Dude, that's Sunday NFL ticket. I don't have that."
That costs like $500. If you want to go buy that, Hey, eventually I will get that. Eventually I will have that.
I'll have it.
Gina's shaking her head. No. Uh-oh.
We'll
Trouble in paradise.
We'll have it.
All right. Sweet. Well,
right.
I think we covered everything that we wanted to cover. And so the only thing we have left is for Garrison to sign us off.
All right. Watch this episode. All right. We're just two Beardos and we're signing off, guys.